Before coming to talk to you today, I did yet another beautiful divine light healing. But when people get off the table, the feedback is always unique because we are all unique.
The Podcast Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.
Welcome back to the Podcast Empire Women in Business series, where we help purpose-driven women launch profitable podcasts to build their brand and their influence. I'm your host, Tracy Cook, and today I want to bring you a phenomenal guest who's making waves in the world of business. She is a absolute inspiration. We're going to hear more from her in just a moment. And as you embark on your podcasting journey, make sure you check out the show notes below to access your free podcasting resources. Today's guest is no other than Gwenda Smith. Now, here's what I know about Gwenda. When people want to know how to live a fulfilling and purposeful life and peace on their own terms, they connect with Gwenda. And she definitely knows. And what she's going to share today is a wealth of knowledge, how to move you closer to align with your true self. She has a membership called Soul Seekers Sanctuary. So check that out in the show notes below, because it's all about the power of self-healing. Welcome to the Podcast Empire, Gwenda.
Oh, hello, Tracy. It's so exciting to be here. I love your mission. I love the way that you help everyone understand that there's so much wonder, joy, and incredible things in connecting.
I love that. Thank you so much. That's a fantastic compliment you've just given. Made my day, Gwenda. Now, we want to hear a little bit about you, what you do, who you serve, and you're very passionate about what you do. And that's what really screams to me when I first met you, at just your energy and your passion in what you're doing. Can you share with us all a little bit about who Gwenda is?
Oh my goodness me, Tracy. Awesome questions. Now, who is Gwenda? She is a trailblazer, a nonconformist. She's a powerhouse in her own right and loves to help other people be a powerhouse in their own right. Goes against the grain, doesn't really like being put in a box. That's who Gwenda is. And how do I serve and who do I serve? Tracy, before coming to talk to you today, I did yet another beautiful divine light healing. But when people get off the table, the feedback is always unique because we are all unique. But today, doing that just before coming to talk to you, I thought, wow, this is absolutely awesome. And the feedback, the comment from the lady and the way that she looked after having her divine light healing makes my soul dance and makes my heart sing. It's what I love to do. It's what I love to serve, to bring people to that place of deep healing, deep peace, and you can see it in every part of them, and that just brings me so much joy. But that's one of the ways that I serve. My real favorite and deep passion is when I see the light bulb go on when someone has really connected to their true self, when they've really come into a massive, oh, is that really me? And they come into this space of going, well, I had no idea of all the junk I've been carrying. Why would I carry that when I'm amazing, when I'm simply amazing? So that's my greatest passion, is seeing that light bulb come on. And generally that's because the person has come to me because they are in a position where their health has really been very poorly, where they haven't been able to find a way to be well again. And quite often, most often, it's because they've been told by the medicos that I can't do anything more for you. So people end up on my doorstep in that predicament. And then so to see them become well again, to see them go through an incredible alignment healing, is, there's no words for it, Tracy. It's just sublimely divine.
You know what? I really encourage and support people being authentic. I'm known for it. But what's amazing, Gwenda, is the visionaries, the critical thinkers, the disruptors, we're the change makers, right?
Yeah.
We're the people that get shit done, right?
Right.
We genuinely care about community. We genuinely care about people and breaking those generational cycles and those generational chains and just really being at peace with who we are. And then it doesn't matter. You know, it's like Wonder Woman deflecting, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what people says about us. It doesn't matter,
right.
you know, people's opinion or whatever, because we're happy with ourselves. So if it's not for people like you, Gwenda, making changes and making paving the way for people to step into, we always hear this best version of ourselves, right? But it is a best version of us, but it's the peace. And we're speaking pre-show and you said about peace. Can you share a little bit about what that feels like or what that is and what that means to a person who finds peace to be able to love themselves?
There's the key words, love themselves. And so many people have difficulty with that because of conditioning and programming. But what does peace feel like? It means that when a challenge, a perceived challenge or a hiccup comes along, you're able to go to this incredible wellspring, is what I call it, a wellspring fountain that is really powerful within you. Instead of reacting and choosing to jump at what's going on outside, you learn to pause, to go, hang on a moment, and go inside, because that's where all your power is. Yes, you can go outside to go to your higher self, to go to the divine, but the core is within you. So going in there, and what does it feel like? It is bliss. Absolute bliss. So if you can imagine how you would feel looking at your most favorite place of nature. So if you're someone that likes to look at snowed mountains and you think, oh, that just looks amazing, and you feel this real shift in your energy. Or if you're someone that loves to watch the ocean and you just love to sit there and take it in and you sense this move in yourself, it's like that, only 10 times magnified. So absolutely beautiful.
Now, we know that everything is energy and everything emits frequency, everything emits energy. And we all feel that. If somebody walks into the room, we label it as charismatic, but it's really energy, right?
Yep. Well, we have to have a label for everything in this world.
Unfortunately.
We're big on labels.
You see, we can't read the label if we're stuck in the box, though. We're going to step out of that box to read the label, right?
I don't want that label.
No, not at all. Not at all. Now, as part of your work as well, when you're working, you know, with people so that they can really align with their true self, have you got some tips, strategies, or anything that you share with your clients, or what you found to be true and the most comforting to people to align themselves with their true self?
The word that comes to mind is feeling very harmonious, and harmony is a magnificent word for when we're talking about energy and frequency. Even to say it, and if you sing it out, you can feel it resonating in your body. So when you come into a space of really being able to be in alignment with yourself, it's as if there is a beautiful balance of that energy that runs through you, and you're able to tap into it for solutions, for guidance. And you don't have to go out there. You don't have to go to other people. And one thing we had a laugh about before we started, Tracy, is, and I think you might have mentioned it at the beginning, I'm going to use the word validation and acceptance. You don't need anybody else's validation. So being able to really be centered in your true self, it is a journey. It's not something that you can do overnight. I'll be straight up front with that. If you can do it overnight, you're a swami, right? You're a massive swami, because they're the ones that are the magicians. when it comes to transformation instantly. But for those of us walking around the ordinary world, especially the Western world, there's too much baggage. So learning to be in alignment with yourself is a process, not a word I particularly like, it's a pathway. And your pathway has got cobbled stones. And if you've ever walked on cobbled pathways with heels on, it's not a whole lot of fun. But it's a cobbled pathway, and then it's a little bit of a pea gravel pathway, and it goes slippy slide. There might even be some mud patches, but then you hit the golden pathway. Now you're into it. Now you're into living that life of being in divine union, is what I call it. And that's what I love, to take people on that pathway.
That is absolutely beautiful. And there's so many people, especially women and women in business, spinning all the plates, being all the things, pleasing everybody. That can be from, programming or upbringing or whatever, and I know how freeing it can be going through that process, just to be your true, authentic self. And it is a process, and you never stop going through that pathway, do you?
Yeah.
Now, when we first met, Gwenda, something that you were talking about that really perked my interest, and I'd love to hear more about it, is when you were talking about end of life.
Mm-hmm.
Could you share some more about that? Because that just perked my curiosity so much.
It either perks people's curiosity or it sends them into a run for the hills reaction, because dying, death, people fear it, and they fear it for different reasons. So for me, helping people understand what happens when you die, I feel it's a transformational part of your healing. It's a big key to you being able to find peace, harmony in yourself. And how someone asked me the other day a question I haven't been asked before, and I thought, that is awesome. How do you know? How do you know what happens when we die? How do I know? Because ever since I was a child, I have been able to see what I call the see-through people. So I've been able to see spirit, communicate with them. I didn't know at the time, I was only little, what was going on. And then in my teen years, my first visitation with an angel, and then an archangel in my 20s. So through people that have left this physical world, they come back to me and they show me, and through the archangels, I've had the privilege of being shown what I call heaven, taken there to see. So what happens when we die, a lot of it is actually, and to be honest, I don't like that word, we leave this physical form, we never die, and that is a proven fact. So to go beyond this form is where everything is bliss, everything is perfect, not down here, but up there it is. And when you're able to see that and you learn that nothing here, and this might strike the audience a bit differently, nothing here actually matters. We get too attached to things here, and that's what causes a lot of our disparity with being our true self. So what happens when we die, the transition, there's the two times. So when you're actually leaving your physical self, if you are ready and willing, that is extremely peaceful. If you are resistant, then you can get stuck and you can get caught. So when I was nursing, seeing them walk around the wards and going, don't know where I'm going, or creating havoc. And then there is the actual arriving. So when you arrive to where you want to go, and to me, that's heaven. If you want to sit in the in-between worlds, you can, because free will exists in both places. So, yeah.
That's really freeing to know as well. And for those listening, if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling like there should be more to your life, I highly encourage you to reach out to Gwenda, have a conversation, and see what she can help you with. because we all need help and we all need support. And I know that Gwenda's got the goods. So get into her Soul Seekers Sanctuary to have any questions answered for you and guided by Gwenda. Now, another question that's really been perking my interest, I was thinking about what kind of things can I ask Gwenda when she comes onto this episode, because there's just so many things. I mean, we could do a 3-hour, episode if we want to about this. Now, a lot of people talk about 3D and 5D, and you've touched on it with physical. Could you explain if that's something that you could elaborate on, or is this part of something that you use as part of your pathways?
It depends which pathway people are on, Tracy. Some people just want to come out of feeling lost, hopeless, not having enough in their life, whereas others really want to dig deep and know what goes on beyond here, or what else is there. So when we're talking about 3D, it's really the third dimension, and everything is in 3D. So, when we meet, we are a physical, tangible thing. These screens that we're sitting in front of, the keyboards, the desk, it's all a physical thing. But when you break it down, and if you go into quantum physics enough, or if you go into the spiritual realms enough, you can actually see into a solid object and find it's not solid. It's just the vibration, the frequency that it is at, that makes it appear solid. That doesn't mean you go around trying to walk through walls. That will not happen. But you can certainly see through walls when you come to understand how to work that. And the CIA in America have done that with their people for a long time, taught them how to see through walls so they can find their opposition. So that's the third dimension, and we're here in the third dimension for the physical experience, because that's where everything happens from, what we call good, bad, and the in-between. There really isn't any good or bad anyway. It's a perception. And then the fifth dimension that we've been hearing such a lot about in recent years, well, really all it is a shift in frequency, where you are able to tune in to that higher self and the higher beings with more ease, and you live your life from that space. So there are actually people, including myself, living in that fifth dimension within the third dimension. The world goes through, and humanity goes through transitions every so many 50, 100, whatever years. And this is the cycle, if you like, of life. It is also the evolution of humanity. Those who choose not to move in their frequency, well, the news for you is you just come back and do it all over again and again and again.
Is that where we get the phrase, have you learnt your lesson yet?
Yes. And the other one, what was I thinking?
Yes.
What was I thinking?
Absolutely. Now, one of the questions that somebody in our Facebook community asked was, how much of a role does our ancestors play in the lessons we need to learn?
Oh, I like that one, because I do ancestral healing and ancestral release. I call it generous stamping. So when people say, oh, I've got this of my grandmother's or of my great-grandfather's, I've been told that, I'm like him, well, no, it's actually that they've been very kind and given you a gift, a little keepsake of themselves that hampers your life. So ancestral lineage is actually very important to understand, because you can find out what things are going on in your life that actually don't belong to you, and you can release them. And then, of course, there is the other side, where you can draw on great strengths from your ancestors and find out ways that you can be very powerful, more powerful through their learning. So you can do it both ways. It's either healing, releasing of their generosity, or it is expansion for yourself.
It's in our DNA, right?
Some would say, and I would have another conversation with you about that because
Mm,
we can actually alter our DNA. So if we have ancestral stuff, I'm going to deviate from that and say you're talking about genes.
mm,
So genetically, there are things that come through from parents, from grandparents. But when it comes to our DNA, we can actually alter that. And so we can tap into what our original, our essence of our DNA is, which leaves out all ancestral things. However, we do have these ancestral connections, lines, families for a reason. So they're part of our soul evolution, our soul expansion, as are all of our family ties. And some people are going, well, no, there's family I'd rather not know. The only family I really don't have anything to do with. Well, somewhere along the line, you've agreed to be part of their life as they have yours. But the thing is, Tracy, how much of that do you want it running your life? That's the question I ask back, because you can alter all of that.
I love how you breathe change into things because we don't have to put up with anything. We can
No.
always change.
Yep.
And it's
We have
people
free
like you that are
will.
helping people make those changes, to live in alignment, to live with power, to have self-healing, and to have that, that real inspired divine union
Yeah.
that builds a better community, better mindset, and better enrichment for further generations and legacies to come. Gwenda, the world
Wow.
is a better place with you in it. You are helping so many people as a woman in business, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Like I said, we could make this a 10-part series if we need to, because there's so much wealth of knowledge. Please make sure you check out the show notes and get into the Soul Seeker Sanctuary membership with Gwenda. And what kind of message would you like to leave the audience on today?
Tracy, I'd like to leave the audience feeling that they can step forward and make a change right now in any given moment. How they want to pause, look at what is going on around them, and know that they can actually be the director of that at any time, no matter what it is, because it's all about our perception. So I'd like them to think about how they're going to step forward from now and what will they do with each step. Take a breath, pause, have a look, make a decision, then step forward again. And please, please, always close your day with gratitude, no matter what has come in your day, but please close your day with gratitude. You'll be amazed how it changes everything. And begin your day with gratitude and an intention from your heart. Thank you,
Begin your
Tracy.
day with an intention from your heart. I want that written on a coffee cup somewhere. I
I
love
can
that, Gwenda.
organise that.
Yeah, absolutely. We should do that. This has been an empowering conversation. Please let us know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. We'll see you on the next episode of the Podcast Empire, the Women in Business series, and we'll see you in the pod. Thanks again, Gwenda. Bye for now.
The Podcast Empire, podcast mastery for women in business.